Hey everyone, my name is Perry and welcome back to the cassette phase. So today is going to be the first in a series, a mini series if you will, of videos that I'll probably just call summer movie series. But what I really want to do is just talk about some of my favorite 80s and 90s movies, which I feel are quite simply better viewed in the summertime. And I'm going to explain to you why as we go along. So obviously, this is a very new channel, right? I have 11 videos as of the time of this recording, and out of those 11 videos, I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned today's subject at least 2 or 3 times. So it's obviously a special one for me. So today's movie is none other than 1989's The Wizard, starring Fred Savage, Beau Bridges, Christian Slater, Jenny Lewis, and Luke Edwards. And for me, this film was more than just a long, drawn-out Nintendo commercial. But I'll be honest, that was part of the initial appeal. But if you're up for hearing a little bit more about The Wizard, come hang out.
To California, please.
That's $226.
Well, we only have $27.30. What does that get us?
Nowhere.
Corey's taking his brother Jimmy on a ride.
These two boys already traveled more than 80 miles across the state.
We've hired someone to find him.
What's his problem? He's just shy.
But Jimmy's got a secret
You got 50,000 on Double Dragon?
that could make this the ride of their lives.
Look at him. He's a wizard.
He's headed for the video championship.
This guy?
What is that?
Power glove.
Yeah, well, just keep your power gloves up front, right?
With a touch of romance
I am not kissing a boy.
and a ton of trouble.
That's huge.
We're too late.
Sorry about that. You maniac!
They'll get there any way they can.
Emily! Here we come!
It's Jimmy! It's Jimmy!
Come here! Stop them! Hey!
Now, what do you think you're doing to him?
All his life, you've been telling him to do what you want him to do. How about once you ask him what he wants to do, huh?
Now,
Video Armageddon.
it's going to take a lot of guts,
You can do it!
a little magic,
You're the best!
and the wizard, Fred Savage. The Wizard.
So to start off, why do I consider this a summer movie? I mean, it came out in December of 1989, but I never saw this one in the theaters. No, the first time I saw this movie was the following summer when the VHS tape came out June of 1990. So it started off as just a simple, rental for me. Rented it one time, and then the next thing you know, I've rented it 2 times and 3 times. And then that eventually turned into, oh, my friend has a copy of this tape, so let me borrow it from him and watch it over and over throughout my summer vacation. And I don't know if this is streaming on any of the major streaming services right now. I know that you can buy the digital copy of it, on like Amazon or YouTube. As with most movies of this era, this one in particular is just better on VHS. I have the DVD as well. I think it's part of I think it was a 2-pack of this movie and then Cloak and Dagger. But yeah, for this movie, VHS wins every time. But again, why summer? And I'll be honest, this movie is good any time of year. Watch it whenever you want. Don't let me sway you one way or the other. But there are just a few reasons that I want to talk about today as to why I feel like this is just such a great summertime movie. First off, it's the locations. This was filmed in the deserts of Nevada and California. Most of the locations are dry and dusty, but with plenty of sunshine and blue skies. There's a great hotel pool scene, you know, late in the film, where you can just see all kinds of like 80s bathing suits and sunglasses and pool floats and things like that. And also an unfortunate shot of an older gentleman in a Speedo, you know, just right there hanging out at the snack bar. But we can skip over that part. And then there's the road trip elements of this movie. You know, much like Clark and the Griswold family, road trips can oftentimes take place in the summertime. And this movie really gives you that feeling of a road trip adventure with the characters. You know, they're hitching rides in the back of a Hostess truck. They wait out a rainstorm in an old phone booth. They're riding down the highway on a skateboard at times, riding in the back of a farm truck right alongside some cows. And then you get to see some great old 80s car interiors, especially the scene where they're traveling to see the, is it Cabazon? You know, the big dinosaurs that you see in this movie that also show up in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And you just get some really great shots of, you know, some old 80s gas stations and service stations, some diners, you know, just neighborhoods and houses, Universal Studios. Feels like a summer vacation to me. Another one is the clothes that you see throughout this film. You know, a lot of neon colors, you know, baggy, oversized shirts, you know, sunglasses, baseball hats. Some of the brands, you know, you catch a glimpse of like Vision Streetwear, which is a brand that I had as a kid. All of those things just, again, feel like summer to me. But outside of the summer elements, what is it about this particular movie that is just so special and endearing to me? And I think it's really just, you know, at the heart of it, it's an 80s kids movie that, you know, really captures those feelings of freedom and exploration that we had as kids growing up in that time. And it's got some pretty awesome music in it too. The Bodines show up right there at the beginning. You hear New Kids on the Block a couple of times, although it's kind of buried, kind of hard to hear. But You Got the Right Stuff and Hangin' Tough are both in this movie on the soundtrack. And then you've got Paul Carrack, who sang lead on songs like Tempted by Squeeze and The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics. He's got a song here, I Live by the Groove, which is played over this amazing montage towards the end of the movie where the kids are all preparing themselves for Video Armageddon, you know, the video game world championships. And my favorite song in the whole movie, honestly, is the song that plays over the end credits. It's I Found My Way by Sally Dworsky. And I've looked all over the place for that song. It's not streaming. It's not on Spotify. I mean, you could find like a rough copy on YouTube, but and I don't know why, because that is just such a great like 80s sounding, you know, perfect for the end credits of a movie type of song. And just some of the stuff, right? Some of the scenery in the background. You know, Fred Savage's character has a skateboard that looks almost identical to the one that I had as a kid. You know, it was really wide with the big wheels. Vision, again, was the brand. But yeah, like the scenery in the diners with the tablecloths, you know, the plants hanging, and just the fact that everywhere they went, there were stand-up arcade machines just ready to play. And of course, you can't talk about the Wizard without talking about video games and Nintendo. Some of the games that show up in this movie, I mean, just some classics. Double Dragon, you know, there's the Rad Racer scene where they use the Power Glove for the first time. They talk about Ninja Gaiden. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles makes an appearance in this movie. And then of course, the big one, Super Mario Bros. 3. And apparently there was a delay in the production of ROM chips, along with the fact that they were preparing for the release of Super Mario Bros. 2 at the time. And those things delayed the release of Super Mario Bros. 3 to the point where they could actually allow it to be promoted in a feature film, which is pretty cool. And we also get to see the Nintendo Helpline headquarters, where we are led to believe that there are operators, you know, standing by just ready to help us with Contra or Zelda. And there we are. So it can be really hard to describe to other people, why a certain movie resonates with you, or why it sticks with you through the course of your life. But The Wizard is certainly one of those movies for me. What's a movie that's like that for you? Let me know. Or do you have a suggestion for a summer movie that we could talk about here on the channel? Feel free to share those down below. I have some ideas for some upcoming ones, so definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, and as always, relax, enjoy life, and be kind. We'll see you in the next one.